Oh, live on YouTube.
What?
That's
It's not
right,
live.
live.
Are we
That's
live
right,
already?
live on YouTube.
I don't know if we're live yet. So we're having some technical difficulties going live on Facebook. So instead, we're going live on YouTube. If we're live now, I don't know if we're live. Are we live? Yeah, we're live. We're live. We are live.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where I can share. Here it is. Into Osmosis Live Vivo. Okay, I will share the link also on the Facebook. Yeah, we are live. So I share the link on the. Guys, we are live.
We are live. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us.
Let's see how it.
Live.
So, guys, sorry guys for this situation, but we are in. We had to start the live on YouTube because Zoom didn't let us play the live on Facebook. So now we are on YouTube. We try to share in the same time on our group on Into the Osmosis on Facebook. So yeah, let's see what happened. We don't know. It's the first time that we are doing something like this. We have an appointment. So Remy, should we start with the video?
Yes. Yeah, or not? How many? I cannot even see the screen, man. Okay, shall we start? Let's get started.
Okay, we have someone. Peter is right. It works, so it's already good.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Okay. Let's go.
Why have a destination wedding and celebrate your big day in the most memorable way? Why travel all the way to an exotic, unique, jaw-dropping location with your loved ones? Well, I say, why not?
So
lots
guys,
of technical difficulties.
so guys, sorry for the live of today. We had a little bit of problem to understand that Facebook didn't want to let us play this evening the live. And so we had to play it on YouTube. And thank
We
you.
had to
Sorry.
restart everything, and sorry that I'm cutting off your video also. Like everything that could go wrong goes wrong. But
That's the beauty of the live.
exactly, that's life, man. That is
So-
life.
So guys, it's if you wanted to see amazing work of Alessandro Bordoni, just go on his website and you can see how he's doing his films and
Better than our lives.
yeah. So thanks to Alessandro that you are here. Thank you, Alessandro, that you are here with us this evening in this chaotic adventure of the live.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
It's good to have you here. It's good to have you here.
So Alessandro, I know Alessandro from really long time, and I'm really happy to have. We are really happy to have him this evening to tell a little bit about his story, because Alessandro, he started from commercial, right? Tell a little bit of your story, Ale.
Okay. Sorry, I was distracted because I was watching at your legs in that previous screen, the Remy share, but I think that's the problem why the lives went like nuts, because your legs were too hot for
Too hot
the
to
audience.
handle.
Yeah, too hot to handle. Too hot. So, hi everybody. Thank you for having me, you guys, and everybody for listening. I'm from Italy, like Riccardo, and I started in 2012 shooting commercial in my hometown, shooting events, corporate videos, stuff like that. At the same time, after 1 year, I started shooting local weddings because there was a photographer looking for an assistant shooting video, and I was like, yeah, he was paying very good, and I was like, I'm just starting out, I need to learn a lot of things, let's do it. And I started doing local Italian wedding, and then after 1 year I opened my own company, and I started doing Italian weddings on my own, and at the same time still doing commercial and advertising videos. What happened after a year and a half, something like that, I was a bit bored from the Italian weddings because they were kind of the same. We were working in the same venue over and over with the same kind of people, and I was about to quit the kind of video and do just commercial and advertising video. And my partner and I work with my wife. We're not actually married, but we're like wife and husband. We work together, we live together, so it's like a marriage. And we were like, yeah, let's do this last season of Italian wedding, and then let's focus ourselves only on commercial. But one day, a colleague of mine, he was shooting destination wedding in Italy. He was like, hey, I need an assistant for a destination wedding. And I was like, what's that? What's destination wedding? And this was 2015. So it was this beautiful American wedding in Tuscany, 2 days. I went there, help him out. And I was like, wow, I love this. This has nothing to do with the Italian wedding that I'm used to shoot. These people really are enjoying the place. The venue is amazing. The countryside, the food, the wine, the speeches and the vows. There were so many more tools and for me to tell a story, to build a narrative, because Italian wedding are like pretty much all about having fun, getting drunk, or having a very religious ceremony in a church, which is beautiful, but it's the same thing over and over, the same lines, with the same priest. So working on this destination wedding, I was like blown away. Wow, I do love this. It's like being in an American movie. It's like, how can I do more of this? So I went back home to my partner and I told her everything about my experience. And we were like, okay, let's do this. So we closed our website, we tear it down, and we opened a new website with my name and last name in English, just marketing destination wedding clients in Italy.
What mean
and I didn't
what mean your name and the last name in English? But you
'cause
done the website in English.
My previous website, my previous company was AB Productions. Very, very creative, I know. Alessandro Bordoni, AB Productions. And I was doing both commercial and wedding with that name. So we closed the website. We opened a new one called alessandrobordoni.com, doing just wedding. And the website was in English, not in Italian, because I wanted to target that specific clientele, getting married in Italy, but being American or English couples. And at the beginning, that was tough because I didn't have anything in my portfolio. And so I reached out to a planner in Venice. She was doing destination wedding, but her videos were like, no, not that good. And I was like, I think I can do better. So I offered myself my services for free. And in a few weeks, I was able to shoot my first destination wedding in Venice. And I started my business with a new brand website in English and with one video in portfolio. And that's it. That's how everything started. And that was 2015. And from there, we kept doing destination weddings in Italy. We started in Northern Italy, then Southern Italy, then everywhere in Italy. Then we started also receiving inquiries in Europe and started traveling in Europe, being published in some magazine, being featured, some awards, all the process.
So actually you make the turnaround. So from commercial, you started to do...
well, actually, I was still shooting commercial, especially in this change when I switched from Italian to destination weddings. To keep ourselves afloat and still making money, we kept doing commercial video. And then when the destination wedding business was good and healthy enough to sustain ourselves, we say like, okay, we can stop doing commercial stuff. Actually, after a few years, I moved to Milan because I was still doing commercial, and in Milan, all the big clients are based there. So I was working with Microsoft, Nike, all these big clients, and kind of keep this like double identity, shooting destination wedding on one side and shooting commercial for web or TV for big brands in Milan. At some point, we were like getting so many inquiries for destination wedding in Italy and abroad from American clients mostly, and working with big clients in the advertising industry in Milan. At some point, we were like, we cannot do everything. We need to choose something. What we like the most, who we like doing destination wedding. And the reason for us was that we had way more control on the product, on the project, on everything. While this commercial project, even if you're working for the most famous brand in the world, they give you deadline, product placement, budget. It's very stressful. While on the destination wedding projects, we were basically just me and my partner, and we were handling everything on ourselves. We were choosing our own creative process. The delivery was also very nice because you can deliver your wedding film after months. In the commercial world, I had to deliver the day after, and so it was very stressful. And that's when we say, okay, bye commercial project. I'm gonna focus myself on destination wedding. Also because we wanted to step up our game in destination weddings, and the only way you can do it is just focus on one thing and try to do that the best you can.
Well, that is really nice to hear, man. That you sort of have to focus on one thing, and then that you chose weddings in the end. And was it only because the stress of the commercial world, or was it also more things than that? Or
was because of the stress of the commercial world, but also because I wanted to improve myself and getting better in destination weddings, and I wasn't dedicating enough time to that because I was too involved in other projects of different kind of project, commercial project, which is a completely different world. So I wasn't able, and when I found myself editing a wedding, I was like, oh, let's do it quickly. Let's do it because I have other stuff to do. So I really, I wasn't improving like my skills and my creativity in both the those two words. So that's why I was like, okay, I need to stick to one and choose just one.
Mm.
And that was my first stage.
So
after a few
from
years
from the commercial stuff, what's the most fun thing you did?
Actually, I wanted to ask what you were doing as a commercial. So you had your company, you were doing everything like you're doing on weddings, or you were working for someone else?
Kind of like weddings. I was a freelance working with my partner and hiring assistants according to the size of the project. But I was working closely with two brand agency in Milan. So they were the agency with the big clients. And when the clients come to you like Nike, Adidas with a big campaign, the campaign is like billboard, radio, TV, photo, video, online content, website. And I was the one in charge in that brand agency of the video content.
Mm.
Yeah.
It sounds really sexy. It's something that I think that a lot of people is looking for now, to get commercial works, to work with really big names or something like this. And you're doing completely opposite.
Well, it's a different world, and at that time, at that age, to me, it was too stressful, and I wasn't really free to create my own content, to express myself fully, while at the same time I could do that with weddings. And so that's why I wouldn't say I quit commercial. I just paused them for a few years, because now, especially after last year, 2 years from now, I started doing a few commercial. Of course, the destination wedding is still my core business, but I started doing destination commercial project again. And now, especially that I moved out here in Los Angeles, in California, I started shooting a lot of music video, because that was also another thing in my mind from the very beginning. I always wanted to shoot music video, but I never found the right band or the right contest. And I was like, okay, let's put it on pause and focus on wedding. So now, of course, I do love shooting wedding, but like everybody else, when you do something which is the same for over and over and over, you start losing your creativity. I needed something else. I needed something else from a different background to get excited and blend in both expertise and experiences together. That's why I never shot just wedding. I always had a small project on the side, either is a commercial one or a music video. And that always, and even today, helps me to keep my creativity going and being excited about wedding, because that's how my brain works. But I know that each one is different, you know?
The things that you said now, now you are in Los Angeles. I would like that you speak a little bit about this choice, because it didn't came so that you move like this. You move like this because you have people, or you done a choice to go there.
Of course.
So I was designing this live. It's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
This is how you do sound design.
Live. That's amazing.
Live sound
design. So I was shooting destination wedding in Italy and a bit in Europe. And at some point, I reached kind of a limit in creativity, with money. I couldn't charge more than a specific amount. And I always struggle in finding help from colleagues in Italy, because Italy, as probably Riccardo know, it's a very a small country, and for some things the mentality is a bit closed. Sometimes
I think it's like a big country, but
well, it's big, but it's also small.
Remy, it's come from the beach of Amsterdam, so
yeah, small country. That's small, you know.
So let's not talk about size. Let's talk about, it's a very conservative country.
True.
Yeah.
Size does not matter.
Yeah.
And we all know that. So basically, I was like reaching out to colleagues shooting destination wedding already in Italy. Like how do you do this? What camera do you use for that? How do you approach this? And I couldn't find any kind of help. I actually found help in Facebook groups, in people like Ricardo, Remy, other people in the States here. I found more help and knowledge and mentoring in people outside of Italy.
So
and then
do you have a message for the Italians?
You want the polite one or
no, whatever. It's your message, not my message.
No, well, actually, I'm also doing these days an Italian masterclass because I really want to help people understand that there's nothing wrong in sharing your knowledge, your techniques, your tools, your strategy. Because even if I give you everything, I just open all my books, that doesn't apply to you because each one is unique. And even if I tell you everything and you apply everything I just told you, it won't work with you the same way it worked with me, because we're different people, different times. So there's this mentality in Italy to keep our secrets, to do not share with others, and it's very territorial things. I never share that mentality and that feeling. That's why I'm also doing a masterclass in Italy where I'm trying to explain people that the more you get together, the more you create that community, and the more you help each other and share knowledge, that's the best way to actually go to the next step and improve the whole industry.
I think
so
that's
yeah,
good. So basically you're saying like all the time, you should, I think that like a community is important where people help each other, it's not, especially in these times especially, where you're not supposed to be like fighting each other or like competing each other too much. Obviously there's like it's like a business and you are competing with each other, but in the end it's also good to help each other. We have this saying in Dutch where we say, if you cannot divide, like in mathematics, if you cannot divide, you can also not multiply, meaning that if you don't share, you also cannot grow. And I think that's like a nice way of thinking about it,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's
I find wait one sec, because I find really, really nice this kind of idea and thought, because the most of people, they think that to get all the, that you are the best, you are the one and everything, and you want to hold everything for yourself and grow by yourself alone to become someone without sharing anything. But at the end, it's completely the opposite way to think, that it makes you become really, really big and improve your work. Because I don't know if in a situation where you have problem, if you are alone also in the problem, in the bad time. If you are giving and you are helping, in bad times, you will get help. You will be support with, it's a family. You are creating a family. So every time when you share, when you make something for others, you are creating also a new opportunity for you. And yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any stories of where you shared something and then where it became something else, or through sharing that you gained anything? Or
well, for example, I learned this sense of community and sharing working on commercial projects, because when you work on a team, on a big crew, is different than working on like a one man band. Yeah. So I started learning that in Italy, and then when I moved out here, working on music video here in Los Angeles, I work with crew of like 40, 50 people working together, and everybody striving for the same goal and achieving that same goal. And like the best results are only when you do the teamwork, because you can be a talent, you can be the most talented artist in the world, but there's a limit that where you cannot achieve on your own. What are you laughing at?
Puyok is giving me something Joke is doing something amazing. So I can play with the big boys. Wait. I have to turn it on.
So for example, one example, when I move out here to Los Angeles, and then I will tell you why I move out here.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody, so reach out to a few planners like, hey, introducing myself and blah, 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 showing my work. And one planner told me, hey, I don't have a wedding for you right now. And my wedding are a bit small compared to what you're shooting, but have the charity events in this hotel in Beverly Hills. And a lot of wedding planner will be there. Are you free and available to sponsor our event and shoot the video for free? And in Italy, the same things I would have said, fuck no, for free? Because I already know you're not gonna give me everything, because everybody just oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm a little bit late with my sound design.
We'll cut it in post. So in Italy, something like that, you're like, no, you're just asking. While here, there was a sense of community and sharing. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Why not? And after that experience, like months later, one of those planners attending that charity event, she reached out to me. She's from Los Angeles. She had a wedding in Tuscany. And she was like, hey, can we meet in LA? Can you shoot the wedding in Tuscany? And I was like, oh, actually, I will be already in Italy at that time. So why not? And I got to shoot a beautiful wedding with the American price, which are a bit better than Italian competitors' price, with a wedding planner from here. So I started building a relationship with this planner. And that's just because I said yes to share, to give to use my time and my skills for free for a good cause, for a charity event, without asking what you're giving back to me. I was like, I'm free now. I don't know anybody. Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
And the sense of community and sharing and helping each other, it's all about that. It's all about helping each other.
Exactly. And then you get and eventually you get back the wedding that you shoot in Tuscany.
Yeah, that was a beautiful one. And a few colleagues of mine, they were like, how did you get that wedding in Tuscany? Because it was a very good one. And yeah, and I wasn't expecting something like that. You know, that's the thing. You should give without expecting anything. You should give
exactly.
And be okay with yourself, you know?
But it's also another thing that it's nice. It's the way how you follow your idea of what kind of wedding you would like to get. Because, you know, in Italy, I remember that I've done some workshops in Italy, and one of the main comment that I get, but Riccardo, the weddings are not like this here. Because maybe you show your video of a nice wedding that you shot somewhere, and they say, but Riccardo, here, the wedding, but not like this. And also for you, the wedding they were not like this. So you went in a place where you wanted to attract the weddings like you like it. So you moved. You had a vision about the kind of weddings that you would like to get. That makes you also become more creative about what you were shooting, because you were shooting a kind of wedding that you liked.
That's what I'm trying to tell in this Italian masterclass that I have, that the destination wedding market is so huge. There's not just a millionaire destination wedding. Even an elopement is a destination wedding. So there are so many different categories, and you have to understand which is the right one for you, which is the right wedding that you feel comfortable working in, and you should target that one and communicate to attract that specific kind of clients, you know? So yeah, also showing the right product, the right films, not showing everything we shoot, you know? Showing, it's all about not copying others' work, like watching your wedding and saying, oh, that wedding, I don't have that wedding in Italy. It's about understanding the tools and the strategy and and the creative processes, and apply those to yourself to find your true nature and find your ideal client. And then when you find that, you start building a process to actually attract that client.
Yeah, and I actually think, you know, if people say like those weddings you don't have in Italy, come on, I shoot so many weddings in Italy. I'm thinking like in Italy you have any kind of wedding, because people love to go to Italy, and you know there are places where you don't have to spend so much money, and places that are really expensive, and like there's a lot going on in the end. And even with the couples that people are shooting now, you can still educate them. You can still tell them like, oh, maybe you should do this, or have you thought about that? Like these people only get married once, you know. And maybe in their direct environment they don't have the experience of doing weddings in a different way, so they feel like, okay, the wedding is supposed to be like tick 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 like this because everybody else does it like this. So
Katz, do you know how many times I asked a couple why you are married in the church, and they didn't know how to answer?
Exactly, because they do it because
they think that it's like this. They think that it's like this. It's normal. You married in the church, they think, no?
Yeah.
And after they understand that there's the possibility to make a free ceremony with someone speak about your lives and your story, and has nothing to do with God and religion and the stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I think our role is to guide them into the different options that they have. Of course, at the end of the day, it's always up to the clients to decide what kind of outcome they want from their wedding. But it's our role, especially when we know the place, when we know the venue, when we know the different creative possibilities, it's our role to give them all these options and say, hey, I would go for this one, but you also can do this, this, and this. And they're like, oh, thank you, because I haven't thought about 90% of these options. I just, as you say, I just thought that a wedding is just one way to do a wedding, or to do a wedding video, you know? So yeah, that's communicate. Communication is key, like everywhere.
So and then how did you move to LA?
Okay, some drum roll. Oh, I think I got the drum roll. Oh yeah, I got it.
Don't you think if people are coming now to see this live?
So why I moved to the US. I was in Italy. I was shooting destination weddings, mostly in Italy and a few in England, France, in Europe. And at some point, I was like, speaking with my American colleagues, I was like, wow, they charge way more than us. And they do kind of the same output. And also, I think I have a better background because my weddings are not in a ballroom or in a hotel or in a farmhouse, but they're in front of a villa in Lake Como or in a beautiful countryside in Tuscany or on the Amalfi Coast. I was like, why, if the quality is pretty much the same, my background, I think, is better film-wise, why they charge like 4 times what I'm charging right now in Italy? That was my first question. But I was able to start looking into it only because there was a lot of community here in the States, and people had no problem in sharing their price list, their different approach and everything. And then I started realizing that, especially in Italy, when I started, people were like thinking about their own business. They were charging what they think they deserve without thinking what's the client expectations. Instead of sending a price list as soon as you get an inquiry, that's a mistake, sending a price list, because you don't know what kind of client you have on the other side. Because you can have a very like a regular person like us with a decent budget, but you can also have some very wealthy American billionaire, and for them and for their lifestyle, spending 10K in a wedding video, 10,000, it's normal. It's what they expecting actually. So when you send them your 2,000, 3,000 price list, they're like, oh, this guy, I really love his video, but he's so cheap. And there's something wrong here, because it's subjective. It's subjective, you know.
Yeah.
If you're a Royal member, what you spend for when you go out to dinner is way different from what I spend when I go out to dinner, you know. So it's and I realize I need to better know my client, to understand what's my ideal client. So I did some research. Oh, sorry, I'm losing my AirPod. Let me change it real quick.
Yes.
Prova a parlare.
And in the meantime, so
you don't hear
yeah.
me. No, non lo sentiamo.
Last time it was Ricardo's light running out.
Eccolo.
Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
So I realized I need to better know my clients, and then I didn't like to work too much with some wedding planner, because they were the first one setting a limit for our service, because they were like, when a client gets to Italy and they're like, oh, I need a very good videographer, a very good photographer, they were like, oh, the max you're gonna spend is this amount. And so they were setting our limits, and I was like, how can I get out of this? How can I charge like my American colleagues, because I think my work deserves that? How can I do that and skip that that limit, that wedding agency, wedding planner, or person in charge who actually make the price instead of me for my own service? And moving here to LA, there were different reasons why I moved out here. But the one related to the wedding was that I can reach out to clients in the States directly. They can find me there. I can meet them in person if they're from LA or California. And I can be kind of a hybrid, because I'm Italian. I have expertise in Italy and Europe, but at the same time, I'm living here. I'm living by their own rules. I pay the taxes in their own country. And so they feel more comfortable. They feel safe, because you do things like they do. So they feel more comfortable. And this kind of like identity allowed me to get better job, better clients, and follow my my end goal, you know. And
actually, I remember that I met you when I was shooting a wedding in California, and you were there looking for, I don't know, you were already.
That was my last vacation before moving here. I was looking around and still thinking, should I move? Should I not? Yeah.
Try to think.
What I like about the Americans is that they're very business-wise. They're the best. They're so good in business, customer, clients, everything that's related to the business side of our work. On the creative side, I think in Europe we have different skills, you know. So blending my cultural background, being Italian, being European, and my creativity, blending that with the business mentality of the Americans, to me, that was the win-win. Because you know better than me, thanks. You know better than me, it's not about just being an artist, just being a creative videographer, cinematographer, however you want to call it. And it's not even being just a businessman. It's finding the right balance between those two worlds. That's how you get to work with good clients, charge good money, and at the same time doing something creative that you really do love. It's always about finding the right balance.
Yeah,
like in your relationship.
With a lot of things.
Yeah, I see a question that Marco wrote, but I find that it's interesting question. How commercial approach influenced your way to intend wedding videography workflow? So is there something related from the commercial you bring into the wedding world?
Yeah, that can you hear me? Because I changed the airport.
Yeah.
Okay. That's actually, that helped me a lot, because you know, when you first start in the wedding industry, you're like watching other guys like Ricardo, like Remy, and thousands of others, and you're like trying to copy this, something from this guy, something from that guy, trying to find your own style. And at some point you're like, oh, everybody in the wedding industry is doing this kind of transition or this kind of opening, so I have to do that because it's standard procedure. Having a commercial background and working on commercial project or music video allow me to think I don't have to do that. I don't have to open with the drone shot every time. I don't have to use those fast cut transition in every video. Like in a commercial project, you every time you change your style accordingly to the client, to the final to the expectation of that client. So that helped me to actually get out of being afraid of not having the right style, the right color grading, and more starting a path into my own creativity, my own approach, my own style. And after a few years, as you can tell, I love music, I love DJing, and that's why also I direct music video. And my wedding film are heavily with music and DJ audio transition and stuff like that, because that's something that I really love. And
Absolutely, I can say without problem that I saw a really big change also in your way to make the videos, the films, from when you were in Italy to when you moved into California.
Because the difference is between when you're doing something that's the average for the wedding videos out there, and you know, you play safe, you know, you're like, oh, I know I'm gonna use this color, this transition, this opening, and I know I'm gonna create something that's okay. And the difference between that, but then you're like so many other colleagues out there, the difference for me was like, I want to do something that reflects my own style, my own creativity, at the same time, of course, respecting the client's needs and expectation and finding the right balance that we were talking about. Finding my own style and gambling, because it's like when you go to the casino. I remember one of the first time I added this wedding film in Lake Como. I won a few prizes at the WPPI events and other events online. I shot this wedding on Lake Como, and the father of the bride, he made this speech saying like a line about the groom, about it looked like he was saying something super nice about him, like the first time I saw him, blah, 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 blah. And then he broke it down like, and when I first met him, I was like, what the fuck? My daughter will get married with this guy? So he broke it down, the speech, and the crowd, they were laughing. And I was like, I love that. And I'm going to make that. When I was still shooting the wedding, I was like, I'm going to make that the intro of my highlight. So I opened my wedding video with this drone shot on Lake Como approaching to the venue with this speech in the background that sounded like a very nice thing. And after a few seconds, I broke it down with what the fuck, and I completely changed the pace of the video and everything. I had a few colleagues actually texting me on Facebook, are you crazy? There's something that you can't do that on a wedding video. It's not popular. And I was like, yeah, I know I'm gambling, but I feel that's more a reflection of who I am. And also I remember the client, he's a very famous New York club owner, and these are like party people. And I was like, I think that reflects also their style too. So I'm gonna give it a try.
And I think that's also important, you know, to also think about who the client is, what is their story, at the same time, what you do as your vision, and just, you know, go for your vision. I mean, and that's so important that you know, sometimes people, yeah, like you said, like people say, oh, you can't do that. But who tells you you can't do that, right?
Yeah.
There are no
I
rules.
mean,
Yeah.
who tells you that you cannot do it? So, and I think that's with creativity. Like, I mean, we as creators have also the responsibility, I think, to look into also that, you know, what the client wants. So we have to understand who our clients are, what their needs are, and everything, and then do whatever it takes, you know, to create something that stands for you, but also stands close to the client, and something that they will cherish for the rest of their lives. So it's an important thing. And if you always fall into the same rhythm of whatever you need to do, then basically you're just giving them what you always give everybody else. So you're not even, I think you're, in a way, you're not even really listening to the client, or really be in touch with the client. So I think, you know, that's really good that you do that,
shooting,
you know?
If you're shooting like 30, 40, 50 weddings per year,
exactly.
I understand you need that kind of approach and being a bit like cookie cutter, because that's the model of your business. But if you shoot 10 to 15 weddings like me, you need to customize each one. You need to customize, especially.
But it also gives you the space to do that, right? Also for us, I don't, even if I think if I have to do more than 15, I already like I don't even want to do it, you know? And because you cannot give the client in the end the same attention, or the attention that you want to give them to make their story their story.
Correct.
Correct. So in a way it also, and I think then it also comes to pricing, right? Then it comes to pricing that, I mean, if you charge not enough and you only want to do 15, then you cannot, it doesn't make sense. You cannot make a living, and that's, in the end, you have to make a living also. So it's really about finding the right balance there.
It's always about finding the right balance between your own creativity, the client expectation, needs, and your own business person, because that's also another important side of our work.
True.
I remember with this groom that I was saying in the video earlier, he texted me the day I was exporting the video. So the video was done. He texted me that day, hey, Alessandro, I just want to give you some notes. You know, I was a DJ, I'm a club owner in New York, so music is very important to me. I want to send you a playlist that I think is a good match for my wedding. He sent me this playlist, all 80s, 70s vibe, very hippie. And I was like, this has nothing to do with my footage. They were like party going, they were having so much fun. I can't edit with this music. And I already have done pretty much everything. I was almost about to export. And I follow my gut. I was like, I have to try. I need to stick to my own belief and go and move forward. When I sent him the video, he was blown away. He was like, I would have never expected something like that. That's even better than what I thought, you know? And that's when you realize, okay, I create something unique. That's a fusion between my own creativity and the client identity and weddings. But taking that step, it's like gamble. It's like taking that risk.
Yeah, but that's I think that's part of being creative.
Artist.
But
artist.
You know?
Yeah.
Like the word creativity means creating something new. Something.
I see that your work, Ale, it's as a quality of a product. When I see your film, it looks really, really good. It's really, really solid. It looks really professional. Really,
you make everything great. Great.
Great. It's gonna be great.
Do you know when you see our films, there are some shots that sometimes are shaking, or do you know, it's a little
I call it organic.
Organic.
Your films, they are
fake
really,
news.
Really solid,
News.
really,
Fake
really,
news.
really. And when I'm thinking that it's only you and Sole that you are shooting, right? It's only you two guys.
Yeah, most of the time it's just the two of us. Sometimes when we get to shoot like most like bigger wedding with maybe 100, 115 guests, we have a third assistant. But usually most of the time it's just Sol and I.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually have a question from the crowd, and the funny thing is, it's a client of mine,
Okay.
and we're gonna film his wedding. Let's see what he asks. Justin, Justin is really cool. He's also into video making. He works at NASA.
Wow.
He's getting married in Switzerland. He postponed his wedding, but the good thing is, like, I couldn't shoot his wedding before because I was already booked. So I had my second team go and shoot it, but now he postponed the wedding, so I can go and shoot his wedding. So okay, anyway.
That was meant to be. Yeah.
Yeah, it was meant to be. Actually, I have like with the postponing of weddings, I get it's a little bit easier for me for the planning. I had everything like so. So is there a difference in client expectation that comes to you through a wedding planner versus independently through your website? Okay. Do you understand the question?
No, can you read it again? Sorry.
Okay. Is there a difference in client expectation that come to you through a wedding planner versus independently through your website? I think it's a question for all three of us.
Yeah. It depends how you get the job. If you
it depends
get the
on
job
the planner. It depends on the planner.
If you got the job through the planner and she has some needs, you have to be flexible and move forward those expectations, but at the same time keeping it real and being true to yourself. The needs change. I wouldn't say according if it's a planner or a direct client through my website or through referral. The needs and the expectation change according to the kind of person that I'm shooting. At first, when I started, I had a few wedding planners say, I'm gonna give you a job, you're gonna provide me with this, this, and this, kind of like a deal. And at first I was like, okay. And then no, I don't feel comfortable doing that, because that day my client is the couple, they're the one paying for my services. And I want to be focused on them, and I want to invest my time. What happened? Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry, my screen went on the side for some reason. I lost myself. Yeah, basically, I changed my what was the question again? If you change your approach according to if a direct client or through wedding planner or referrals, right? Yeah. I changed my I changed my approach according to the client needs. Sometimes the client needs can come through a wedding planner. Sometimes they can come through the client itself, or sometimes they come through a personal assistant, somebody from the client staff and member. So I just need to make sure to do as much pre-production as I can to be sure that that day I have all the information needed to have the best approach that's a blending between my own creativity and the client needs.
Yeah, I think for me, like when we get an inquiry through a planner, it obviously depends on the planners. We have some planners that, they only take really, 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 really big projects. So that, there's a different way of approaching the wedding and the expectations. Like they want bigger teams, they want different kind of services. But I think in general, I'm happy when I get an inquiry through a planner, because that how the schedule is being done, how the details are being done, and that you get food, on the day and things like that. But at the same time, I'm also happy with people coming to us directly. So I actually like the mix of having things, because I don't want like only this or only this and only this. I need this like change of different clients, different kind of environments to also stimulate from a creative point of view, I think. So how about you, Ricardo?
Yeah, for me, it's the request from wedding planners is lower than the people who comes directly from the website. We love when people contact us through our website because you feel more that they are looking for you in somehow when it's a refer from a wedding planner. But yeah, this is our situation in this moment. We at the percentual, it's like 30% of the wedding it's from wedding planner in this moment. I work every time in the same way because also it comes from a wedding planner. We want to directly contact with the couple to get know them and the kind of work that we are doing it's not different if I'm working for with wedding planner or with a couple who directly contact us.
In my case, what I want to make sure is that there's always a wedding planner on the wedding. Because and who's the wedding planner? Because the wedding planner, when they do their job the right way, they helps you a lot.
Yeah, it's true. That is true.
And you're able. That's the teamwork that we were saying earlier. The team. That's why also I built a network of wedding planner, photographers, vendors. When you start working with those people that you really look up to, and at the same time you love to work together, you start knowing each other and the different needs, and that's when the teamwork actually bring the wedding outcome to the next level. My referrals are 50% from direct clients and 50% from wedding planner and photographer. That's my average. But sometimes you can have clients, especially when you're working with high-end clients, they're so busy, they're traveling, they don't have time to jump on a call with you and give you the possibility the chance to getting to know them, because they're super busy, they're business people, traveling, having meeting, dinners. So you have to make sure that the planner in charge, or the middleman, the middlewoman, whoever it is, it could be the wedding planner, it could be a personal assistant, whatever, gives you all the information needed that the client really wants. And then when you get close to the wedding, you can get to know the client maybe on one call, but you can, because some clients are like that. They're just too busy and they don't want to waste time in 4 or 5 calls with you. They just outsource that kind of process to other person. And that's how you have to approach the wedding. Other times, the clients want to really be involved in the process, in the video, for different reasons. Maybe they love doing video, or they just love the product, so they really want to be involved. Like, what kind of gear are you using? What's your creative approach? I was thinking about that. And that's when the client wants a direct link with you, and you have to adapt.
I think in the end, like Justin also asked a question. The next question is like his follow-up question is like, do you prefer to work through planners or direct clients? And I think what Ricardo says in the end also is like, when you have that connection with a client, then you can create exactly what for the client, because that's in the end, the most important, to create something for the client. And even if you work with planners, they help to organize things. They help to make things more streamlined, and they help the client to look at things in a different way. So I think it's helpful, but at least for me, it's like not super necessary. Do you feel the same as well?
To me, the wedding planner is very important on the wedding day for the schedule and timing. Because when I work on music video
and the food, I always know how to arrange the food, right? The food, because food is important.
Otherwise, we stop. We just black out.
Yeah, it's true.
Problem with food. Yeah, I never had problem with food, luckily, but I heard some stories.
Yeah, I usually get food. Yeah, that's good. But in the beginning was.
Okay. Well, when I work here on music video production, there's always the assistant director, the AD, who's the one in charge of making people being on time, the schedule to respect, and especially in a wedding. The higher is the wedding, the biggest is the production. You need to have specific timing, timings, and you want people to respect that timing, because when you know that's part of the pre-production. You know what person of your team sent to shoot the ceremony area when it's ready, or you know who sent to shoot that other things, or when to do the portrait session. A wedding planner or a wedding coordinator, it's essential, especially on high-end destination wedding, to make everything going on smoothly and on time. That's, to me, it's the most important thing on a wedding day.
True.
Because I wanna
Yes.
think about my own work. I don't wanna take care of giving the clients the suggestion about, oh, you should do this at this time, oh, you should maybe do that thing before. And that's not my role. That's not my field of expertise. So we need a person like that.
I think that we have another question from Ariana.
Yes.
Hi, Ariana.
Yeah.
Ciao, Ariana.
Do you want to read it, Remy, the question?
Okay, I'll read it. So first he says, like, you guys are all great. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Really inspiring by the way you work. I mean, thank you so much. Do you guys do any re-editing for your movies if clients request that?
Ale?
Oh, yeah. Ale, of course, we have to. That's being professional and not. Yeah, of course we do. We give them a limit number of reviews, though. Otherwise, they can keep going for months and months, and they change their mind. And after 6 months, and there was something else changed. So we give them rules. You can do a limit number of review, and the review have to be sent within a month from when I send you the link. So we give them some rules, and of course the chance to make adjustment. Because sometimes there are things that I don't know. Maybe I filmed a person, and that day there was a drama about the bridesmaid, and the bride is like, I hate that person now. I want her out of my wedding film. And
that happens. That happens.
Oh, that happens.
Yeah. I had the last two weddings I had. The last wedding I delivered a film. The bride said, I love the film, but Riccardo, can you change the part of the hugs with this person? Because we don't know him.
And he was in the intro. He was like the most important.
It was a beautiful shot of this hug with this guy.
With this stranger, this perfect stranger.
With a stranger.
Or another wedding we had where we added the film completely based on the speech of the mother, but the bride she wasn't so happy about that, because there was a little bit of misunderstanding with the mother or something like this. They didn't like it, for example. So it's things that you don't know sometimes.
I mean, especially when you do destination wedding, you get to work with people and with like Jewish ceremony, Persian ceremony, Indian ceremony. They have so many different traditions, and there's always something that maybe you're missing. And I did an Arabian wedding, and I had to remove one specific shot because there was the mother of the bride, but she was dancing in a nice way, and I really enjoyed that shot. But the bride told me, for our culture, that kind of moves are like too much. She's allowed to dance, but that's a bit too much. Maybe she drank something. So please, can you remove that? And of course, I couldn't know that. There's no way I can know that.
There's so many different. It's the same. It's like with I call it like fair use policy. It's like in a way, like with wedding films, it's like it's fixed price projects, like you do in commercial work, right? Commercial work, you have fixed price, and you say, okay, this is the limitations of what you can do. But anything outside of that box, then you charge extra. So
sure. It's work.
Yeah, it is work in the end, and it's your time, and your time has a certain value to it. So as the same with you, like I say, like with a couple of changes, okay, it's changing shots or whatever. And it also depends on the kind of feedback, most of the times I'm like, okay, you know, I understand why you want to remove this, but if they come with like 4 A4s of changes, and some of them are like, I don't know if I would want to change that, you know, because of certain things, and it's like, you know, then it's also, then it makes sense, you know, to say like, okay, I can do the changes, but I will also have to charge for the extra amount of time that I have to put in there, because, you know, I feel that the quality of the film is in line with anything that we've delivered before. So, you know, then I think you also have to find a balance there. And I've noticed with a lot of clients, you know, it's not a problem. They understand.
And in that case, I would blame myself.
You would blame yourself.
Yeah, I want you to go on with the question, because with the time is we are over 1 hour now.
Okay. Aneta had a question. Oh, and Justin says, I get food on the wedding. But Justin also has a really good plan.
Yeah.
So, okay. Then Aneta says, so you talk to your client first about his or her wishes and expectations, and then create for them a custom package. Right.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. That's the way to go.
Yeah,
that's
the way to go to maximize.
Yeah, wait 1 second, because
for him.
But I think that this kind of question, it's a little bit tricky, because sometimes if you are hearing too much the wishes of the couples, you are used to move a little bit your head about your vision of what you want to do of the film. And sometimes the couple, they really don't know what they want. They think that they like something, like for example, what you said before of the groom, of the New York groom, that he think that he wanted that kind of music, but at the end it didn't fit right properly on the. So it's a little bit to filter what to hear it, but filter, not to say, okay, the bride, she wanted the drone when she is walking down the aisle, but it's not possible. You prefer to get the reaction of the groom than the drone of the walking on the aisle. So
that's why you need to talk to the client before sending a package or a customized price list, because you need to know all these things. And especially when they send you a wedding video from somebody else, they're like, oh, I think this happened to maybe at least once to everybody. They send you, I don't know, Riccardo Fasoli video to me. I like this video. I like yours, but I like this. Take this as a reference. I'm always like, take a step out. What do you like about that video? Maybe it's not the color, maybe it's not the style, not the transition. Maybe it's just the fact that it's a ceremony facing. This is Riccardo, of course. I picked the wrong example.
Yeah, then you need a bigger, more beard.
Yeah, right. So I'm always asking, okay, thanks for the link, but what do you really like about this? Is it the venue? Is it the pace of the video? Is it the music? Is it the dress? I try to understand if it's something that I can work, or if it's something that's not related to me. And it's my role to guide them to that process and help them to understand what's the best product for them. Sometimes when they ask you, I want a drone during the ceremony, I'm like, okay, I never deny. I'm like, yeah, we can definitely fly a drone during a ceremony, but be aware that it's very loud, and the experience of your guests and of you exchanging your beautiful intimate vows is gonna be very very thick. So I can do that, but I'm educating you.
Sorry, what were you saying? There was a drone flying over. I couldn't hear you.
So it's always about giving them the knowledge that we have and try to guide them to the best solution. The reason why I talk with them before sending a price list is because we have so many different options. How many hours we're working, how many cameras, how many drone, not drone, 1 day, more than 1 days, it's a highlight film or a feature film. We have so many outputs, so many extras and add on. If we send everything to the client, it's overwhelming. And they're like, oh, I need a whole weekend just to open this email and start looking at this thing. So the reason why I talk with them, it's also to nail it down and send them something that it's as close as I can to their needs.
But then again, like there's no one way to do it. You know, this is your way.
Of course.
Other people do it different ways. It depends on the kind of weddings you shoot. Also, if you shoot like a little bit lower end weddings, then I don't think that making it too difficult for people to see the prices, because then they have to take the extra step to get to know you, to have a talk with you, for you to identify their wishes, and then in the end they only have 1,000 euros to spend, you know. Then, you know, so it depends. So to answer to Aneta, I think the answer would be yes for Alessandro, and no. But you have to figure it out. I
it
think
depends on the kind of client and kind of wedding. That's why you need to understand that before.
And the kind of request.
In the end, it's especially if your prices are a little bit higher, then if they only start to compare pricing, then it's better to try to build a personal relationship first before you send the pricing. But if you're in lower end, then if your prices are more competitive, then it's okay to send the prices first and then have the talk. So then you can add the prices on your site also. So obviously there's like different ways to approach it.
It really depends on your business model. If you're a studio with so many videographers and you shoot like 50 weddings per year, and one of your strengths is having like amazing prices, like deals, so cheap prices, and people choose you for the price rather than for the video, that's the way to go. Just send your price list, and you like it? Yes, no, okay, bye. That's okay. That's if that's your business model. But if you're shooting less wedding and high-end wedding, or you still want to go there, you need to personalize them and to customize everything. And it's up to you. How can you understand the client needs and make something that's the perfect fit for them? You say building a personal relationship. I was like that, and then I shift my mind a bit, because I already know when they're comparing me and other colleagues, I already know that I will never win that fight with my price, because my prices are usually higher than my competitors. So how can I provide them more value? How can they choose me, not because of the price, but because of the value that I'm providing? And that value, yes, it could be a personal relationship. And I used to build that relationship when I first started. Now my value is more a professional relationship. I get so good in understanding what your needs really are and giving you the tools and the solution, the option to do that. In terms of timing, output, coverage, and everything. Because you can become best friend with your clients, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna provide exactly the best product for them. Even if you're best friend, you have the same interest.
I think it helps. I think it really helps a lot to. In the end, it obviously depends a lot on what your end product is. So if your end product is more personalized and you really want to tell their personal story, I think you need to. The more you are in their comfort zone, the more you feel comfortable around them, the better the work is. So, for example, we shot the wedding of Ricardo. And because I know Ricardo so well, because we have this personal connection, we could create the things that we created because of it. And it's also because he opens up in a totally different way. When, you know, there's this part in the film where I just ask him, like, how do you feel? And then he goes on with really opening up in how he feels. And then I think it's like an amazing part in that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you cannot do it without creating a personal connection before, but again, you know, there's like different ways to approaching it.
The personal connection has to be from both sides, you know.
Yeah, obviously
if you have that kind of client, and that kind of connection helps you getting into their mind and build a better storytelling, a better narrative, go for it. That's the way to go. I go the same way. But if your client is a bit more shy or busy, so they don't have time to actually become your friend, you have to understand. It doesn't work with
everybody.
Yeah, you have to understand their needs differently, not just becoming friend, but you have to understand their needs in different ways. Yeah. And that's when wedding planner or other vendors play an important roles.
Obviously,
guys,
there are different levels.
Quiet.
Next,
let's try to answer the question that were out there, because it's already 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Okay, shorter answers. Okay, but I like the discussion.
Yeah.
What do you think are the steps to follow to get destination weddings? Well, there's no clear plan, I guess.
I think that everybody of us has a different story about how to that we got destination weddings. So Alessandro went to take them.
That's how you do it. You just take them.
That's how you do it. Of course,
take them.
when you grow up in Italy, the destination wedding
they come to you.
Yeah, it's easier than if you live in Iceland, you know. No, Iceland actually.
Iceland, there's like a lot of people.
I'm sorry. I think of the most.
We started with Iceland.
Yeah, unless you live in Amsterdam, you know.
In Amsterdam, that's what I want to say. So I would say each story, each company is different, and it depends on also where do they live. But I would say if you want to do destination wedding, you should show just destination wedding, and you should market yourself and build your brand and website around that.
I think networking is one of the most important ones.
The thing is that the thing that some like what is the name Inaki. The problem that he has is he can't get a destination wedding. The thing is that when you don't get any request of destination wedding, you can't show it. So you can't show any destination wedding. So for example, Remy, what he does, he were in Iceland and he shot a video there, Iceland, and he shot a video there, and he promoted in that way.
Travel video.
A travel video.
I shot a travel video.
But you got your destination wedding thanks to that travel video.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's smart. You make it happen. I didn't have any destination wedding when I decided to do this and open my website. I went to a wedding planner who was already doing destination wedding with crappy videos. And I was like, hey, I'm going to shoot a video for free if you provide me with a handsome couple in Venice. And that's how I created my own portfolio.
Which is through networking. And how about you, Ricardo?
Because Anna, she done a good work with the website, with posting a picture that we done in Holland on the couple on the beach, and a couple that were married here in Düsseldorf. That we're looking for someone shooting the wedding also in Thailand, and we shot a wedding in Düsseldorf and in Thailand for this couple, and from that it began to get a lot of requests from destination weddings.
So the answer is shoot something in the Netherlands.
Right.
Okay, next question.
The answer is and show just that. Don't show everything. Don't show your local wedding. Just show just that.
Well,
specific
depends,
thing.
Depends also.
If you want to do just destination, you should show just destination. Yeah. That's my
exactly. Kriya Films says, loving this. Then Aneta says, Alessandro, you have something like a starting price on your website?
No, not on my website. Because my starting price right now is $12,500, and that kind of price, even for somebody that has no problem. Even for a very wealthy client.
Katza, tell again your starting price, please.
In slow motion.
In slow motion.
In slow mo.
Whoa.
Our starting price for one wedding day, 2-person, a highlight film, a feature film of 20 minutes, a separate edit of speeches, a full day coverage, so it's about 12 hours. it's $12,500, not euro.
Pre-tax.
And pre-tax, that's the thing. But the reason why I don't have that price on my website, because right now I really work with a high-end clientele, and even if they can easily spend that money, they want more reassurance, and they want to know better your process, and in your creative process, your business process, before actually saying, okay, I'm gonna pay that. Because also the rich person, they don't spend money so easily, so just because they have it. So for my kind of clientele, it's not good to have that price, because some people can get scary, even if they can actually easily spend that amount of money. I need to build a relationship, like Remy said, and better explain and break down all my services, which is not just the final video, but the whole process. How do they get to the final video? How do they communicate their needs? How do I apply them to their wedding? The whole process, not just how do they get to the final video.
True. Very good. Okay, those were all the questions. And I think we have already been talking for a very long time.
Yeah.
So if you like this, subscribe to my channel. My channel.
No,
Go
let's say-
to the normally we do these live sessions or live talks into the Osmosis group, but due to technical difficulties, we're doing it on YouTube. Make sure to join us into the Osmosis on Facebook.
And take a look for the people who still didn't watch it. Take a look at the fantastic work of Alessandro Bordoni, because it's amazing.
Put the link
what he's
in the
doing.
chat.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
And yeah, the next time, hopefully, we will be again back at home in Facebook. Sorry, Ale, if we had this problem, but I think there were some people watching, and a little bit of interaction there was also here on YouTube. Also, if it was the YouTube of Remy, that it's a little bit sad.
If you have the YouTube of Ricardo,
then there were a lot. No, it's not sure. We have the same things. But yeah. So guys, thank you so much for the nice evening, nice talk.
Great to hear your story.
Yeah, nice.
So let's all move to LA. That's the trick, I guess.
Yeah,
move to LA.
Yeah, that's also true.
Big bucks.
Next week we will have Monica with
Frias.
us. Monica Frias. That is
Gina.
already Tina.
Gina.
So another adventure, another talk, hopefully again back on our Facebook. And so have a nice evening, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Ricardo and Remy, for making all of these and keeping the community together. Let's do more concert all together at the end. Ciao, everybody. Remy, what's yours?
Oh, wait.
What's your keyboard? Ciao, everybody.